Welcome back. Night 6 in Nottingham, and 4 quarter-finals have been completed, so we have our semi-finalists. We've got an all-English first semi-final with Luke Littler against Rob Cross, and an all-non-English semi-final with Gerwyn Price up against Michael van Gerwen after the next game, which will be the all-English one. Laura has rejoined us. Welcome back. And I'm going to ask you a pretty simple question at the start. Your performance of the night and why?
If you're looking at basic stats and things, I think you've got to appreciate Luke Littler and Luke Humphries. World number 1, world number 2, position 1, 2, and Luke Littler's come through that quite nice. But I also really like the way Rob Cross is playing. Just looks like fully focused, really, quite energetic for Rob Cross up on the stage as well. But as I say, they've all been quite good. I think the one that was probably the biggest struggle in terms of watching was the Michael van Gerwen victory over Aspinall.
We have seen a bit of a mixed bag of lollies tonight, haven't we? Because we've seen the brilliant first game, then almost a continuation of the excellence in game 2, but then things got a little bit sticky when it came to Bunting and Price, but then they still came out with magnificent numbers. But then in Premier League Darts, we're seeing someone averaging 89 in Nathan Aspinall, and that is never going to get it done in 2025. Against a Van Gerwen who's looking pretty steely, even though he wasn't playing his best.
Yeah, and I like the reaction from Michael van Gerwen as well at the end. You can see how much he wanted it, he needed it. This is now the 4th time he's made it through to a semi-final. Went out of the quarters when you look back at Exeter, but hasn't made it any further as well. And for me, Michael van Gerwen is all about the win. It's all about the victory. By this time last year, he picked up 3 titles, and he hasn't got anywhere near that this year. So you can see how much it still means to him. But it's going to be a tough one against Price if Price comes out the same as how he ended against Bunting.
It's a long time since Michael van Gerwen got a weekly title, and he's still got a chance tonight, of course. But this is not going to be sitting right with him, isn't it? Coming into week 6 without a weekly title.
No, I don't think it is at all. And Michael will want to address that, obviously. But again, especially that one leg, obviously, it sticks in your mind. Against Nathan Aspinall, they just couldn't buy a treble 20 or ended up with 3 treble 19s in the end. But yeah, it just felt difficult, sometimes quite hard to watch, because you've got the likes of Luke Humphries, Luke Littler, and tonight perhaps even the likes of Rob Cross and Gerwyn Price. They're free rolling. They look so comfortable up there. They just seem very happy, whereas Michael just seems like he either wants it a bit too much or he's actually struggling slightly.
Is it fair to say that in our first semi-final, that's more of a coin flip because of what we've seen in the quarterfinals, but we have a favourite in the second semi-final based on what we've seen tonight?
Yeah, and we can only go based on what we've seen. Statistically, and just in the whole presence and the overall package, Price just looks like he just looks like he's going to brush aside Michael van Gerwen. I will always say never ever write off Michael van Gerwen, but just hasn't been quite at his brilliant self, and you could argue hasn't quite been there for the last year to 18 months, Michael van Gerwen. But yeah, between Littler and Cross, you just go back to their one meeting actually in this. Cross led 5-1, managed to throw away a 4-leg lead, needed one more and couldn't find it, and lost 6-5 in a week that Luke Littler went on to win.
Is he going to be thinking about that coming into this semi-final?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of players that would. I think if he goes 5-1 up, then yeah, it's definitely going to play on the back of his mind. But you've just got to, it's easy for me to sit here and say, but as dart players, especially the amount you're playing, you've just got to draw a line under it. You've got to move forward.
You're a dart player, Laura, and you were playing at the Women's Series at the weekend. If you had been 5-1 up against someone recently and lost 6-5, how long does that sit in your mind?
I can probably still recall situations like that happened 10, 15 years ago, so yes, it would sit in my mind. But Rob just seems like that person that can normally brush those things aside. I mean, whether that's him just saying it and trying to convince himself is a different matter, but there's not many players that can actually say that they led Littler 5-1 at any point, let alone let that lead slide. And
of course, Littler, when he did recover, he would go on to win the night. So no lead is safe until you get that final shot, and that's the beauty of darts, isn't it? So we have got a very, very short period of time between now and our first semi-final. Littler has a chance tonight to lead the Premier League after 6 weeks. We can't forget about the fact that he's the defending champion of this tournament. He's the defending world champion, UK Open champion, And one thing that we learned about Luke at the weekend is that he can look hungry for a tournament that he has won before. Now that he's defended his Belgian Darts Open, he's going to be hungry to start defending things like his Premier League title.
Yeah, and it's that kind of extra kudos that you get by topping the table as well. I know that Humphries made such a strong start, but those couple of quarter-final losses for Luke Humphries the last couple of weeks really has once again just opened up that opportunity for someone like Luke Littler to step up and just jump him over the table. And I think we're going to see it several times as this year progresses. It just keeps it really quite interesting. I mean, it's a real privilege to be one of the few names that actually top the Premier League table.
We look at the names that are left tonight. We've got Littler, who's obviously won a couple of weekly titles already. Michael van Gerwen hasn't won one. Gerwyn Price won in Dublin, so he's broken his duck for the year. And Rob Cross is someone who has not won a title yet. Is it fair to say that this format, based on what we've seen so far, it doesn't necessarily scream best in class for Cross, because he hasn't really proven that the 3 match-winning night is something of a strength of his yet, because this is a format he's not played much of.
You could kind of argue it this year as well for Michael van Gerwen, the same as Rob Cross, is that they've got those big massive performances, but they're not stringing them together in one evening. You need to be consistent to win the Premier League. You need to be consistent in the standard that we've got this year just to make the playoffs, and that's perhaps what you're not seeing. I think Rob Cross was unlucky last week. Obviously was played very, very well in Brighton, but just came a cropper against Nathan Aspinall. But he hasn't made it through to a final yet, and it's another tough task for him, because we've seen the levels that Luke Littler's been posting just over the last few days.
In your opinion, is this the toughest Premier League you can remember because of standard?
Yeah, I don't know if it's recency bias, because every time we talk about things I always think yes, it's the best one ever or it's the hardest one, but you just look at the consistent kind of ton plus averages, the fact that you've got Stephen Bunting, who's on a couple of occasions averaged over 100 and still finds himself languishing at the bottom of the table. I just think in terms of that high level, I think this is one of the best ones we've seen.
I have to agree. When you look at someone at the bottom of the table who is nearly averaging 3 figures for the season, and that is 6 games now, it's not an accident to think that he's being punished by the people above him because they're playing some exceptional stuff. And 2 of those people that have punished him over the last few weeks, they're about to go toe-to-toe, and Littler, who has got probably more darts fans across the world than anybody right now. The amount of Luke Littler merchandise that we saw in Belgium last week, and the amount of shirts for the defending champion, he could have been out there for hours signing things, but he had to get on the stage, and he had to pick up another trophy, beating Mike De Decker in the final on his patch. He's not afraid of beating anybody on anybody's patch, and he'd like to take Rob Cross out again.
And that's the one thing I will say about Luke Littler at the moment, especially, he's fearless, he's confident, he hasn't got those starters that a lot of other players have picked up as well over the years. I mean, you probably know it, you remember those losses and they stick with you and they hurt. Luke hasn't quite got that yet.
Well, let's go to John McDonald, because the semi-finalists are on their way.
Premier League. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome back our players for our Nottingham semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome back a 2-time European champion, the winner of 5 World Series titles, the winner of the World Match Play, a Premier League finalist, and the former champion of the world,
Rob Cross is always smiling, isn't he? Slapping hands with lots of people on the walkway, even chatting with the security guards. He'll chat with anybody. He loves a chat. Maybe the most loquacious of the darting bunch. But he's got every right to chat about his own game after being 85% on doubles in that game against Dobey. Just how good was that?
Yeah, finishing wise, absolutely exceptional. Had that 144 in it, plus the sun checkout. He was just absolutely solid throughout. But I'm just liking, especially over the last couple of weeks, what I'm seeing from him, because he's got, I think he lost focus when he was leading Luke Humphries, and you can understand that when you've got Luke Littler last time 5-1. what he's got now is that focus, and that's what he needs.
He'd like to make the final, but in order to do so, he's got to go through this lad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of 13 PDC titles, the newly crowned UK Open champion. He's the reigning and defending Premier League champion and the reigning champion of the world. It's Luke, the new
One of the best statistics that we saw over the weekend when he was at the Belgian Darts Open was the fact that he's now got 3 European Tour event victories, and in about a year he has surpassed some of the best names ever in doing that. He's done a lot more in a year than most dart players ever will. Raymond van Barneveld's only won 1 European Tour title, and that's over the course of most of the last 13 years. Some people took more than a decade to get there first. Rob Cross, it took him about 6 years to get one. And it just so happened that when the Nuke got his first, he beat Rob Cross in that Belgian final last year. And that involved a 9-darter. It involved a last leg shootout. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game had both of those as well.
No, it would be fantastic as well. Have a crowd that they're really behind Luke Littler. That's what he's got. He's just got this universal kind of command of people across the world. Darts has never been so popular, and a lot of it is because of Luke Littler.
I think the fact that they look at the Nuke and they see an 18-year-old kid who likes to play on a games console, and he just happens to be the best dart player under the age of 25 on the planet. It's debatable as to whether he's the best dart player in the world right now, because he's not the world number one, but he's gaining on Luke Humphries quickly at the top of the rankings. But I think they look at him and they think, he just looks like Luke from around the corner. It just so happens that he's better at this than 99.9999% of people on the planet. Are we about to find out just how good he is once again? 18 years of age from Warrington. Always adorned in the same colours, the black trousers, the black trainers, now with a bit of white trim for a little bit of extra sass. And the Nuke shirt, which is a deep blue and yellow with nicknames all over the place. And he's got the darts in this semi-final by virtue of winning the first quarter-final. So what happens here?
First up, clatters into the board, falls out for Luke Littler, but recovers well to score 80 on those opening points. But what does happen here? Because for me, Littler is always going to come out and be consistent. It's what Rob Cross can produce. I think that's what's going to take this game.
Well, we were talking earlier about the fact that Cross's maximums are better this year than possibly any year in his career. They might have to be in this contest, because he's going head-to-head with someone who can hit more 180s per leg than anyone on the planet. It's as simple as that. If that A-grade stuff turns up from Littler, Cross is probably going to have a personal best.
Yeah, I think a lot of players probably find themselves in that kind of boat already. Luke Littler finding his first maximum of the match, down to 101 already.
Well, here we go. If we have 11 legs in this contest, how many maxes we're going to get? We've already got 2. We might have 3 in the first leg. Cross has to settle for a 140 to leave 85 after 9, and he might lose the leg. 101 for Littler. Big 20. Went for treble 17 to leave double 15, but gets no joy. Cross gets an early chance.
Yeah, early chance, and it is a break chance as well. He's taking his time. Ops for 19, so 66 left. 5-16, 1 dart at the ball.
Oh, it's right in there as well. It's not near a wire. It's a landlocked shot. and he takes an immediate break in 12 darts. Rob Cross tonight is very, very, very good on the doubles, and now he's found a bullseye to embellish his percentage from earlier. This is Johnny Clayton style darts on the doubling.
Yeah, brilliant, and kicks off with a 1-3-4, but back comes Littler, 2 trebles, 3 treble 20s, second maximum for him.
Well, that's 3 for the game, and we're only 1 and a bit legs in. So keep this going, boys. We love this on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe. You know it makes sense, because Darts on the Tube, it works as well.
Might be able to hear the boo from the crowd in the background as they can only muster up 59 to back up that initial 180.
He looks mean tonight, Cross, doesn't he? Looks almost annoyed that he hasn't got a weekly title yet.
I think he's probably still annoyed from that performance in Brighton, because he's probably left scratching his head at how he didn't get through to the final the way he played.
He might be annoyed as well at the fact that all of the attention is being garnered by the looks and by other people this season, when Cross has had a sensational start to this year. He has been quite superb. Just like that visit, a 140 to leave 70 points. Littler's on 134. First dart is a big 18, so the shot is off. And he's had a second dart go to the corner of the big 20, and it's gone to the floor. It's really interesting. Second time that's happened, and that looked like it grabbed the sisal.
Yeah, unusual, and offers up this opportunity. 54 found for Rob Cross, so double 8 the target for a 2-0 lead. Just outside, and it looks awkward. Cross has to move across the oche, but does pin the double 8. Once again, that finishing we've been talking about continues for Cross, and he leads 2-0.
Do you know, I was trying to figure out the best way over the last few days to describe someone's finishing. That third dart from Cross was like a surgeon asking for the scalpel. It was so precise. He is still visit perfect on doubles tonight throughout the course of his first game in the quarterfinals and this as well. If you give him a shot, he is going to hit it. And I mean what I'm about to say. He could honestly finish soup with chopsticks.
Yeah, I like the analogy, it's interesting. Yeah, but Rob Cross now just looking to build on the advantage, can only muster up 60 points, so Littler with 302.
Well, starts on the 18s, as you should, but he's not really on it in this game. I just wonder if he's laying a trap like he did in their previous Premier League encounter earlier this season. Now, it's a dangerous thing to do against Cross. You don't want to go 5-1 down again. It's a steady ton from Rob. He gets to 244, and that is after 9 darts, so the scoring is somewhat slowed down in this third leg.
You were saying?
Until that 140.
Yeah, 69 left now for Luke Littler. Cross way back on 244. Let's find a treble and a second. Could this be another maximum for Rob Cross? This is the 140.
I just get the feeling that Cross has made an oath. I'm going to go head to head with this kid. Double 6 for a 69 checkout, and that's more like it. Littler is in the game at 2-1 down, but Cross still has that break of throw. And that's how you beat Cross tonight. Don't give him any shots whatsoever.
Yeah, he's had 3 at the outer ring and converted 2 of them so far in this match. I say outer ring, actually one of them was the bullseye, but you get my drift.
The biggest inner ring pierced. 109.5 average for Cross, 3 legs in. Very, very good indeed. That used to be brilliant. Now it's just very, very good. It's amazing how things have changed. Well, they have played each other in the Premier League 6 times before. Littler is 5-1 up, and that is courtesy of 5 victories in last year's Premier League and 1 this year.
Yeah, you look at their overall heads-to-heads, I mean, they've played 9 times and there's only 2 wins, and the other one came at the last 16 for Rob Cross at the World Grand Prix last year. Luke Littler proving to the rest of the field he's still very, very difficult to beat.
Good use of the treble 19 there from Rob. 6 19s off a switch leaves him on 189. Only a ton from Littler. He's not quite at it in this game. See, he's not quite at it. He's averaging 101. But because he averaged 122 a couple of days ago, he's making this look mundane.
Yeah, I just think the expectations now that we've got because of the way that the players have performed so far over this Premier League campaign, it's just high. But Rob Cross down to a finish first, 130 when he returns. Luke Littler just another ton on 167 now.
Is it going to be bullseye on the 130 for Cross? Or will he leave double 5? He can only leave the bullseye off a small 20. Dart 2 doesn't get a 60, so Littler's got a chance of another big checkout to add to his 164 from earlier. 167 for him. Shots on, treble 20, treble 19, and the ball for Littler. He's got a 167 as well. This is simply ridiculous tonight. More big finishes than you can poke a stick at.
You mentioned about that bingo card at the top finishes. I think we've got a 164, now a 167. We've had the big fish as well.
Right, 170 hit, 167 hit, 164 hit. We haven't had a 161 and a 160 in a bigger hit tonight. That bingo card's getting shredded.
I think we had a narrow miss on the 161 earlier on tonight. Rob Cross, once again, that switch to the 19's really working well for him. Picks off with a 134.
When plan A is not working, plan B has to work if you're playing Littler when he's starting to make a charge here. That's exactly what's happening. He thinks this is just a game against an opponent. Doesn't matter about the venue, the amount of fans watching. He lives a life with zero pressure, when in fact if anybody else tried to do what he does, they'd feel the pressure.
There's 2 in again. Just a bit of a deflection on the last as they settle for a 135. But you think back to like last year, it wasn't until week 7 that Luke Littler picked up his first win at a Premier League. Went on to win 4 and top the table. He's already got 2 under his belt already.
Is that your way of saying he's getting better?
Yeah, but that's unbelievable.
This might be believable. Bullseye for a 127. There's another one off the card. What's with the finishing? It's just simply outrageous. That bullseye has been hit 3 times in this game, in 5 legs.
I think he may have picked up on your message of just make sure you don't give Rob Cross a go at the outer ring, because Rob Cross still is 2 from 3 on his doubles. Littler's just denying him any shots.
These are not averages, they're IP addresses. That's how long they are. It's only going to be a matter of time before Littler finds a 4-figure average. He's that good. 100% on doubles, 3 from 3, 2 of them bullseyes. Rob Cross has been wounded in the last couple of legs.
We mentioned it before, didn't we? Do players have good feelings about venues? And you've got to remember this is only the 2nd Premier League appearance for Luke Littler. But when he was here last year, set the kind of event or the arena average at 114. Got to hold some good memories, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's one of his best performances in his career. He's got a 3rd dart on the floor, and he's just taking it out on the treble 20 there by throwing it towards his previous flight. He only gets 80 points, but he's still got a 3-2 lead, even though he's had 3 darts on the floor now. Doesn't even need to hit every dart.
Yeah, imagine if he used all 3. Oh, but that's a great response from Rob Cross. 174 to leave himself tops, and by the way, that bounce out Littler on 181.
Yeah, exactly, because Littler's not on a finish. He can't stop Cross from getting to the outer ring this time. So what happens now on a double that he historically didn't like, but he's getting better at? Tops, hit with the first dart, finishing from the gods in this one.
And it's great to see Rob Cross, no celebration, he knows he's got a job on his hands, and there's another maximum coming from Luke Littler.
There's going to be a lot of dart players in this audience in Nottingham saying, I think I'm pretty good, but I'm not that good. There are people watching and listening around the world, watching this standard of darts, thinking, I will never be that good. Present company included.
Yeah,
Me, not you.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think there's a lot of people just currently on the Pro Tour that still think the same thing.
Well, here's a question for you. Is watching darts like this inspirational? Or is it, I can't be that good?
No, I think it inspires. I think you look looking out in the audience at the moment, and the young people that are out there watching and supporting Luke, it's inspirational and perhaps aspirational for those younger players as well.
I agree, because young Charlie Manby this year averaged 130 at the development tour, and he has sailed above Peter Wright and Jose de Souza and Luke Littler and Dave Chisnell and Michael van Gerwen and people like that to have the biggest recorded average of the era. 164 for Littler. You've got to be kidding me. Ball again! It's insane is what it is. This finishing shouldn't be possible. It's a 4th bullseye in 7 legs.
Wow, I mean, we've said often there's not enough superlatives to describe Luke Littler, but a 167, a 164 and a 127. And that's just, there's just one leg he hasn't won with a ton plus finish yet.
That bullseye right now has got a black eye. It has been hit hard. And Littler on the stage is smirking about it. Yeah, I'll do this in practice all day long. But this game isn't finished yet. It's only 4-3 to Littler. There's still plenty to go.
Yeah, and despite that, Rob Cross still very much interested in a part of this match, but Littler has just banged in a 180 on a pinhead.
All 3 points completely the same. Like a T1000. They just moulded together. 181 in the 8th leg. And everybody in Nottingham is singing his name, and I'm not surprised. They are seeing darts of the highest calibre. He's averaging 112.
Yeah, and he just looks so comfortable, so happy, so relaxed. He's enjoying himself up there. I don't know you could say quite the same for Rob Cross, who's just trying to hang on to his coattails in the leg where Rob Cross threw first.
85 left for Littler for a 5-3 lead, single 15. He doesn't leave the ball, he leaves double 5, and he's hit it, of course! It doesn't matter whether it's the ball or the outer ring, he hits everything! This is stunning. You will not see better darts than this. 5 out of 5 on the ball and the outer ring. Rob Cross has played exceptionally in this game, and he's barely laid a glove on his opponent in the last few legs.
Yeah, as you mentioned, 5 from 5 on the outer ring for Littler. It kind of makes Rob Cross's 3 from 4, his 75% and his 82% finishing in the game before. It's just a little bit mediocre.
For the night, Rob Cross is 9 from 11.
60.
He's 9 from 11, and he's averaging nearly 107 in this game, and he's 2 legs behind. Littler has got cheat codes to this game, and I want them.
I think we all do. Could you imagine a world with cheat codes in the dartboard?
It's not possible. This is not a computer game, but he plays it like it is a computer game. 301 for the champ. He's got another maximum, of course. Now, if he hits that 121 on the bullseye to win 6-3 against the former match play champ and 2-time European champ and former world champ, this will be one of the finishing performances ever that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. Single 20, treble 17, needs the ball. And the one time he misses, he ruins it for you.
Well, there you go. He's just proved that he's human. And he didn't even like it. He hit the 25 to leave 25, and Rob Cross is on the ropes. And he's punching smoke. 186 left for him, and the end is nigh. Littler on 25. Single 5 hit, double 10. Missed wildly right. Got a little bit closer, but not close enough. He will be back.
Yeah, we'll be disappointed. But not too much damage done, as you say. Rob Cross back on 186. Desperately trying to find a treble. Does last Darb asking, but it's 20 for Littler for the match.
Earlier on tonight, I asked you what was performance of the night. Littler's missed double 10 again, but he doesn't miss it for a 4th time, and that definitely was performance of the evening. Littler's into another final in the 2025 Premier League, this time in Nottingham, where he does hold the venue record average of 114 flat. It wasn't that good tonight. It was still 107.82, but the finishing on the bullseyes was simply extraterrestrial. He may just be an alien, and if he is, well, we want to welcome him to planet Earth. He is the champion of planet Earth, and he may just be the champion of Nottingham as well. Well, when it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites with the dark web monitor. You'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the Madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, but we've still got another semi-final to go, and follow that if you will. It is going to be Gerwyn Price and Michael van Gerwen going toe-to-toe, head-to-head, however you will, after this short break. But keep it with the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Laura will be back with Mark Wilson after the break, and we'll find out who plays Luke Littler in tonight's Nottingham final.